Fast X isn't a great movie, but I love the high octane action. And at this point, I'm starting to see the formula that pushes these films, and it's probably my least favorite part about them all. You see, the last couple of movies have been such a spectacle that it leaves the characters having to explain why they're doing what they're doing all the time, which means the movies suffer from exposition. And this one in particular, Fast X, suffers more than any of the other ones. This is mainly due to the added fan service they put into the movie. I would describe it as like combining Infinity War with Endgame. We're getting references throughout the entire film, and it's actually really fun to pick out moments that came from this movie or from that movie, or they reuse stunts, but they did a different twist to them, and it's happening all throughout this. So everything that was climactic for one movie is maybe the opening to an arc in this one. Hey, I'm Mario. I like playing video games, watching movies, and Dungeons and Dragons. If you keep getting me in your suggested videos, or you're watching this video right here, consider subscribing. It goes a long way. Thank you. The action here is the price of admission. It feels like all this stuff is something that you would see in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, video games, or just things you would daydream about. And I love it. I want more of it. There are a lot of scenes where it's just one person in a room and they beat up a group of bad guys by themselves. However, the purpose of these scenes is to make them look more like a badass, and the fighting choreography's good, but it's nowhere on par with what they do on the stunts with the vehicles. Or really more of what we see Dom doing in a vehicle. Everyone gets a little bit time to shine here. However, Dom kind of goes a separate way and goes on the attack, whereas Jason Momoa's character Dante has put everyone else on the run. So when we go to the side characters or the B plot, it's just exposition and people going from point A to point B, nothing else going on. And Dante being the new villain of the series was kind of awkward considering how they built up Cypher for like 3 movies, but he ends up being my favorite character. Well, it's probably because he's the only character in the movie. Jason Momoa plays him a lot like Flip from Dreamland, and if you haven't seen that, well, really he's Dominic's Joker in this movie. Polar opposites in every way, where Dom is constantly serious and talking about honor and family. You have Dante, who will cheat and do anything dishonorable to win, as well as just being a cartoon character constantly. It's weird how well he fits in the movie because of all the other wacky stuff that goes on. His reaction to how Dom pulls off stunts just makes me laugh every time. No, I really don't want to rate this movie because I do like it, but it's nothing but exposition. There are some points where they try to tell the story, but you only catch on because in the third act they are telling you the story that they are telling. Dom has something with Dante about being rich and poor and how money isn't everything, but Dom was so rich that he could have employed a whole military army, which is... And then there's Roman's story where we have to have Tej explain to him how he was a leader this whole time. I don't need characters in the movie to all act like the wizard from Wizard of Oz and explain the movie to me. And of course, and I've avoided saying spoilers this whole time, so I'll keep up with it. There's not really, I wasn't doing that on purpose. It's just there's nothing to really spoil in this movie. Things blow up. Stuff happens. There's cliffhangers because they're setting up for the next part. I don't know. There's nothing to spoil because there's no story. But I will say this is your spoiler warning right now, but it's not going to be much of a spoiler because I'm going to try to keep it hidden for you still. So just someone dies, but it doesn't really matter because in the Fast saga, in the series, people always come back. So death almost feels meaningless. So whenever a character did die, I didn't care. I didn't feel anything. Overall, the movie was made for the fans. It's full of lore and fan service that everyone who's been a part of this series, this journey, 1 mile at a time, can see and point out all the ridiculous things that have gone on through this series. There's meta jokes in there, the people that have talked about on the internet themselves that get put into here, and really, it's just a good time. It's fun to watch if you want to turn off your brain and just watch stuff go boom. I really like it, but it's not something I would recommend to people. And because of that, I gotta rate Fast X a 5 out of 10. Until next time, play nice.